The year was 1444. Prince Infante D. Henrique, a man driven by greed, a hunger for power, began the unspeakable, selling human lives for profit. In the darkness of night, chained bodies, men, women, and children, were loaded into ships like cattle. Can you hear it? The muffled cries, the chains dragging across the damp wood, the sound of souls being ripped from their homeland? Imagine their terror, knowing they'd never see their families again. As they sailed into the black void of the ocean, the water seemed alive, an entity that would consume them whole if it could. But the real horrors awaited them upon land. The rituals of the enslaved. By 1455, Pope Nicholas V's decree ensured Portugal's continued reign of terror over West Africa. Under the guise of converting the enslaved to Christianity, what actually unfolded was a form of cruelty so savage it is still whispered about in nightmares. Picture the slave ships, where men, women, and children lay shackled, crammed into dark, filthy holds. Their screams echoed at night, unanswered, swallowed by the endless sea. Can you imagine being bound like that, your humanity stripped, knowing no one would come to save you? The enslaved were forced into conversions, but it was more like an exorcism of their humanity. Their screams echoed through stone churches at night. Can you picture it? The twisted smiles of the priests, the poor souls lying on cold stone floors, gasping as icy water was splashed on their faces under the guise of baptism. Those who resisted were tortured in ways that would make your blood run cold. Tongues cut out, hands burned, bodies disfigured to make them obedient. But something worse was brewing. A curse, one they say still haunts Lagos to this day. The curse of the enslaved. It is said that among the enslaved was a young woman, her name lost to time, but not her rage. They called her the Nameless One. She had seen too much, her family slaughtered, her village burned, her freedom stripped away. But she did not surrender easily. No, she whispered a curse as they dragged her onto a ship, a curse that would follow every slaver and every soul who profited from this wicked trade. Legend has it that if you walk alone on the docks of Lagos at midnight, you might hear her voice. She speaks in tongues, not of this world, and those who hear her are said to never sleep again, their minds shattered by her endless pain. One fateful night, sailors returning from a long journey went missing. Their screams echoed through the wind. When their bodies were found, they were unrecognizable, their faces twisted in sheer terror, as if they had seen something no mortal should ever witness. Witnesses claimed that just before their disappearance, strange figures, shadows of men, were seen on the water, drifting, watching, waiting. Were they the spirits of the slaves, or something far more sinister, brought back by the Nameless One's curse? Would you dare visit those docks alone, in the dead of night, knowing that centuries of suffering linger in the air? Could you stand on the edge of the water, staring into the abyss, and not feel eyes watching you from below? The horrors linger. Even now, in the quietest hours of Lagos, you can hear the chains. Locals say they've heard the clanging of iron, sometimes close, sometimes distant, and on rare, bone-chilling nights, the mist rolls in, thick and suffocating. Those who wander too far feel an icy grip around their ankles, pulling them, dragging them toward the water. The locals warn never to look back, for if you do, you might see them, lost souls, their eyes hollow, filled with unquenchable pain, staring at you, begging for release. Would you dare listen to their stories, or would their pain drive you mad? Could you survive a night knowing that the very ground beneath your feet is soaked in blood, that the air you breathe still carries the screams of the enslaved, echoing across centuries? Could you sleep after hearing the truth? Late at night, survivors would hear voices, the cries of those who died never knowing peace. So, if you find yourself in Lagos, remember this. The souls of the forgotten do not rest. They wait, they watch. And perhaps tonight, as you close your eyes and try to sleep, you'll hear it, the distant clank of chains, the soft whisper of a curse long spoken but never lifted. Can you survive the night? Good luck falling asleep tonight.